Okay, so it has been a while since I've posted, and there's been some interesting stories that I've come across. Um, the most recent one was this one. Disney's live action Lilo and Stitch finds its Nani, Lilo's sister, exclusive. Now, Nani is the older sister that was in the animated movie by Disney of Lilo and Stitch. This is the actress who will be playing the older sister. Her name is Sydney Agudong, I believe is how you pronounce this. Um, and this is becoming an issue because apparently she's not dark enough. Um, there's been a few articles written about it. Reports that Sydney has been cast as Nani in the live action remake of Lilo and Stitch. Again, they do comparison photos of how light she is, how compared to how dark this girl is in the video. But this person makes a fantastic point. Agudong is a Hawaiian actress who was born on the island of Kauai. So she is a Hawaiian actress playing a Hawaiian character. However, because she is not dark enough, people have an issue with this. Now there's been some TikToks and people talking about this. Here's one of them.
If you didn't know, Disney has casted Sydney Aguadong to play Nani Pelekai. So we're going to talk about it. Right out the gate, she is Kamakamoli. Her dad is Filipino and Hawaiian. So we're not talking about cultural authenticity. We are not touching blood quantum. We're talking about erasure and colorism. Nani is a darker skinned Hawaiian woman. Sydney is a lighter skinned Hawaiian woman. And I know people will be like, oh, well, they're both Hawaiian, so what's the big deal? I am applying the same principle to Moana. As Pacifica people, we all acknowledge that we have that connection to our ancestors, to our culture, but we all do not look the same, meaning we do not have the same type of experiences and opportunities in life. Darker skinned Pacifica people were the representatives of Pacifica cultures in these films, meaning these opportunities should have gone to darker skinned Pacifica people. Casting a lighter skinned person is erasure of what Nani originally represented. It's colorism and a product of racism.
So this is the girl that has been cast to play in the live action Lilo and Stitch. And people are already criticizing her because they think she's not dark enough. And I don't know what to say in this topic. I really do think that if you're going to do a live action, I would love for the character to look as close as the original character, but that's my opinion. What do you guys think of this? I mean, the girl is Hawaiian, so I guess they did something good there. But I don't know. I want people to play the characters. I don't know.
So you heard that. She says she wants the characters to look as much as the characters as they can be. Now, what I find interesting is that these people are all up in arms about her being, I mean, again, she is Hawaiian, but she's a little bit light-skinned. Yet, this just dropped from Netflix 3 days ago, which apparently is a documentary series by none other than Jada Pinkett Smith on Cleopatra. However, Cleopatra is black here, where if you've had any kind of history class or taken anything like that, you would know that Cleopatra was actually Greek. And she only spoke Egyptian. She actually was not Egyptian. She was not African. She was not black. She was a white Greek woman. Yet, this is okay, and the Hawaiian chick is not okay. But this gets better. Let's watch this.
There was a time long ago
Documentary series.
when women ruled with unparalleled power as warriors, queens, mothers of nations. And there is none among them more iconic than Cleopatra.
I would die for Egypt. What would you die for?
Now this looks like it would be a cool show, right? If it was a show, but them saying that this is a documentary series is crazy. Just listen to this part here.
Like me, and a similar skin color.
I remember my grandmother saying to me, I don't care what they tell you in school, Cleopatra was black.
She has
What are you talking about? Cleopatra was not black. Books written on it. First of all, Cleopatra was Greek, not Egyptian. The Greeks ruled Egypt in the 1st century BC. So again, this show's already off to a wrong start. Again, if this was just a show and they're just recasting the main character as they've been doing in almost everything, that's one thing. But now to say like this is a documentary series, you're kind of like rewriting history in a sense. But what I mean by like recoloring is all these new live actions that they're doing, just like this Lilo and Stitch one, right? They're making the characters black. Like Tinkerbell is a white fairy. They made it into a black fairy, right? Then you had Ariel. She's a pale ginger. They made it into a black girl, right? And so this stuff is okay, but they're having a problem with the Disney chick who actually is Hawaiian simply not being a little bit darker. Now, this really sparked my interest because I remember a while ago, John Leguizamo was slamming James Franco, who has Portuguese and some other, I think, European in him, because he was supposed to be being casted as Fidel Castro in a potential movie that's coming up. Now, looks wise, I would say James Franco and Fidel Castro look very much alike. But his problem, John Leguizamo, says he ain't Latino. So how is this still going on? Now, to my understanding, and understandings that I've known for a while now, yes, a lot of people use Latino for Latin American people, but from what I remember is Latino actually is when referring to Latino, you're talking about people who derive from the Latin language, right? So you can see here, the word Latino is a Spanish word that has entered the English language. In Spanish, it means someone belonging to the people of ancient Latium in Italy, whose language was Latin. So the Romans, of course, were Latinos. Another and related meaning of Latino in Spanish refers to someone who belongs to the cultures of the Romance languages. That is, those people whose languages, and to a varying extent, whose culture too, derived from the language and civilization of Rome, which was Latin. Among these Romance languages are Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian. Therefore, all Italians, Frenchmen, Spaniards, Romanians, and Portuguese, as well as those Latin Americans whose language is Spanish or Portuguese, are Latinos. Now, again, James Franco, he is Portuguese. Now, if you can find me an actor who looks a lot more similar to Fidel Castro, be my guest. But John's issue is that he's not Cuban. Well, sorry to tell you, bud, but neither was Fidel Castro. Castro's roots are from Spain. His father is Spanish. He's from Galicia. So he migrated to Cuba, and then Fidel Castro was born in Cuba, but he's not Cuban. He's technically Spanish if you go back to his roots. Now, the reason I find this very funny is because John has made a career playing characters that he has quote unquote nothing, like no representation of. As we all know, he was infamously Luigi in the Mario Bros. Live action movie, which a lot of people portrayed them as Italian plumbers. Well, John Leguizamo is not Italian for one. But just as of recently, the creators of it have come out and said, no, actually, Mario isn't Italian, he's Japanese. Well, then there you go again. Now, not only is he not Italian, he's not Japanese, yet John still played it. John currently is boycotting the new movie of Super Mario's because he says there's not enough Latin representation in it. When again, none of the cast is Latin. He's played a drag queen, which, what, they couldn't find a drag queen to fill this spot in? They needed to have him? He's also played in The Pest. I believe the character was supposed to be a Puerto Rican, which John is Colombian. Now, I believe he said he has some Puerto Rican roots, but regardless, he also plays an Asian person in this film that you can see here.
My favorite delivery boy. What happened to you? You late?
政委部已經
哪乜日日都翻工遲到嘅喎？
啲數袋啊！
仲唔駁嘴？
咪諗要諗就係咪做可能仲要嘅住？
Like, I get it. This is a comedy movie. This is a skit. This is acting. So I don't care about this. Obviously, today you couldn't make a movie like this because that would be super offensive. But John has made a career in doing these kinds of roles, playing characters that he doesn't actually represent, because it's called acting. You don't have people who act in a movie with cancer. They don't actually have to have cancer. Or if you have a homeless person in a movie, they don't actually need to be homeless to play a homeless person in a movie. Like, this is getting so crazy that everybody needs representation for some reason, or that it's okay to switch all these characters to black characters, historical characters to black characters, yet the girl who actually is Hawaiian is just slightly lighter than an animated character is now a problem. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one.